So now we're going to introduce colors. So ideally, I would have a watercolor set I can use to add color with, but we also know, recently I've shown you guys there's some alternative materials. You can actually use water-based markers in place of your watercolors. So I'm actually going to demonstrate using both, just to remind us of how this would work. So I'm going to start with my sky, cleaning out my brush here. Y'all can hear me swishing it around, running it over the edge of the bucket. And I think I'm going to go with warm colors in my sky because I do want it to look sort of like a desert landscape, and I think warm colors would lead us more towards that. So I'm going to start along the top part of the jar here in the glass, and I want it to be pretty dark at first, maybe like the sun is going down. So I'm going to work my way down, kind of curving, cleaning out my brush, and now I'm going to introduce some yellow into that. Now, even though I'm only using 2 colors, we know color theory. We know that's actually going to end us up with 3 because I'm going to see where the red and the yellow are mixing and turning orange. But then I can keep some of that yellow showing. I'm going to darken up that red a bit. Now, if we want an effect where there's stars in the sky, I might darken the sky a little bit first. Add a little black into that red to go even darker. Being real careful to not cross that marker line. This is where using black crayons a little bit smarter, because then you don't have to worry about the paint bleeding because the crayon wax will act like a little wall for you. All right, and then I'm going to do my salt trick that we've been doing in a couple of our other pieces of artwork. So I'm pouring some in my hand, and then I can control where I put it. This is also an exercise in patience because I will have to wait for that to dry before I can brush it off. But doing that first makes it so I can work on the other stuff. But this is where maybe you're using other materials. So let's say that I want to put some color in these mountains here. So I'm going to apply some marker to some of the edges of the mountain, not all of them. And then if I don't have watercolors available, I might not have a paintbrush either, so using a Q-tip as a paintbrush or taking a paper towel, twisting the end of it to form a little point. If I touch the wet part to the marker line, then the marker line kind of turns into paint. And then if there's enough in your Q-tip, you can actually put it in other places. Like I can put some here, and some could go on the ground there. And then I can add color to different things like the road, the cacti. But then also I plan on putting a little color down under the ground here just to liven things up. I think it would look kind of weird to just leave it. But again, you're only adding color in a few places. A little kid would have traced everything, but we're not doing that. We're not little kids. We know about blending our colors. So I want to have the effect of like a dark side and a light side. So I put more of that brown on one side, and as I pull it across, it's fading and turning into the light part. Now, you could be using the Q-tip, but if you do have a brush, you don't have to use a Q-tip with the markers. You can actually use your paintbrush too. You're just adding water to it and turning it into paint. So your marker provides your pigment. That's a fancy word for color. But then your water is the vehicle for that color. It's what makes it move and act like paint. All right, so I'm going to continue working on mine, and you guys are going to continue working on yours. I look forward to what ideas I see when you send me yours. All right, guys, good luck.